Where I go.
Is a presentation of the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Deerfield. Welcome to the Bart Lundy Basketball Show.
And I'm coming here to take this fantastic university and this city, and hopefully we can just turn it on here. You guys be okay with that?
Your insider look at all things Panthers basketball from the head coach himself, Bart Lundy.
So all summer on this floor, in this gym, we talked about not 2 minutes short. We're not going to have our work leave us 2 minutes short. That's been a motivating factor for us.
Now live from the guest house inside the student union on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Here is the voice of Panthers basketball, Scott Morris.
This is the first Monday of February. Welcome inside the Bart Lundy Basketball Show. We are here every Monday night. UWM Student Union inside the guest house, streaming live on YouTube. Hi, Mom. And on the Varsity Network. For those of you listening and watching in here in person, thank you so much for joining us. As we'll talk a little Panther basketball, we will have our guest tonight will be Danilo Jovanovich. Danilo will join us a little bit later on in the show. We'll preview the week to come as the Panthers head to IU Indy. Don't call them IUPUI. They have long since taken the flu out of the school. So it'll be IU Indy on Wednesday night. You hadn't heard that one yet, have you?
No.
No? Okay. No, I've been using that line since they changed the name last summer. And then it'll be a trip to Cleveland State. Can anybody cool off the Vikings? They haven't lost since the Panthers beat them way back on December the 5th. Down at Panther Arena. So that's the week ahead. We'll look back yesterday, a frustrating game, certainly, and a 2-point loss to the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. We'll have some fun along the way as well. All of that as we commence with this first February edition of the Bart Lundy Basketball Show. Stick with us. We're back in a couple of moments. Back inside the guest house. Scott Morris and the head man, Bart Lundy, the Bart Lundy Basketball Show. Coach, welcome back to your show. First of all, where were you? Where were you when you found out that Luka and AD were traded? That was one of those where were you when moments. You know, you've got the Kennedy assassination, you've got the landing on the moon, and then you have Luka Doncic being traded. At least that's what I've been told by the media.
Well, this is a little embarrassing, but I didn't know it happened until today.
Really? Right now you're finding out.
No. Earlier today. earlier today. Laser focused.
You know, the crazy,
Not on Luca.
yeah, that's fair. The crazy thing about it is that, like, even the insiders of insiders have no idea. Like, in this day and age, where everybody, there's a little leak or somebody drops a hint, or you have everybody, you know, who covers the beat and the Shams and the Wojs, I guess maybe not Woj anymore, you know, you got Schefter and all those guys. Not a clue. Like, when those guys are shocked of something that happens in the news, in sports, then you know it's a thing. It's amazing.
It is amazing. I'm pulling the strings behind the scenes with Jimmy Butler. You didn't know that.
Yeah. Would you like to drop a little, other than that, you're going to drop a little hint? Is he coming back to town? Maybe you're not. Maybe we're going to see him. We're going to see him at a Panther game down the line if the schedule allows.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What is your connection with Jimmy Butler? For folks who don't know, obviously your time in Marquette, you crossed paths, but is this
2 years.
Is that what it was? 2 years?
2 years, yeah. And I was at Marquette 3 years. His junior, senior year, and then got to be there on the ride that was Jimmy Butler. Really after he left as well. He was really, I don't know that he gets back as much now, but when he first went to the league, he was back all the time. And got to see, I always tell our team, one of the greatest Jimmy Butler stories is that he, after that rookie year with the Bulls, he went to Tomball, Texas, where he's from. And he got two of his friends who he knew were just workout guys. They got a house in Tomball. No TV, no game system, no nothing. And they worked out 4 times a day all summer. And he went from being the last pick of the first round to the most improved player in the NBA his second season. So it was kind of on the ride with all that. So as much as people have opinions on Jimmy, I think Jimmy's tough as nails. Stubborn sometimes.
I mean, even his NBA career is I think to outsiders somewhat surprising, considering at Marquette, I mean, he was a very good player, but to think, okay, he'll be the next NBA star to come out of Marquette, I don't know, I don't remember hearing that at all.
No, I mean, and really, he didn't get recruited much out of high school. He was the 98th ranked player in the state of Texas his senior year, not in the country, in the state. And he goes to junior college. He's really a throw-in player with a guy named Joe Fultz. Joe was the gem when Buzz got the job. And he and Joe played together at Tyler, Texas Junior College. And so Jimmy came along with Joe, and that first year, he was, before I got there, he was just kind of an 8th man. I got there, he broke it in the starting lineup, but still was just a defensive guy. Really started to score his senior year, and could always score, just wasn't a great shooter. And but nobody could have predicted, I tell our guys, he's no D'Lo. He's really, he's a little more athletic than D'Lo, but D'Lo's bigger and shoots better. Really, you take Jimmy Butler, and there are thousands of guys like Jimmy out there. But Jimmy had, a drive and a toughness that not many people have.
Well, and now, as you talk about Butler, I'm trying to think, what other Marquette NBA players did you cross paths with? I haven't done the background. Jay Crowder?
Yeah, Jay Crowder, Lazar Hayward,
okay.
Darius Johnson Odom, Dwight Bikes, who else played in the NBA? There was about 6 or 7 that played in the NBA during my 3 years.
I used this line because you talked about this.
Wilson, Wisconsin,
Yeah. We were talking about Jermichael Stillwell for the Panthers, obviously, early in the year, and you kind of said that you saw a little Jay Crowder, I think, was the comp in certain ways. And I've used that line in talking about him on the air and to other people. What are the comps, or what are the commonalities you see between Jay Crowder then and Jermichael Stillwell now here?
Well, you go to the obvious junior college path, guys that are kind of underrated. Jay, when he got to Marquette, a little overweight. He's probably not listening to the Bart Lundy basketball show right now, so
He is.
I can tell the truth. I didn't know that if he could dunk or not, but he could really move his feet defensively and had a toughness about him and had a nose for the ball, had a strong body. But Jermichael was bigger. Jay shoots it a little bit better, but Jermichael's an improving, developing shooter, trying to get him not to fall in love with it. But that same ability to guard multiple positions, and in the NBA, the value in that. Imagine Jay Crowder can go from LeBron, switch on to the point guard, switch on to the post player, and Jermichael can do similar things. So when he's really locked in, just the toughness, the skill set. Jermichael's not quite as heavy, but bigger, longer, a little more athletic than Jay.
You talk about asking Jermichael to give you that perimeter shot because he can't hit it. He had a couple 2-for-3s recently, but not fall in love with it. So what's the balance? What is it you're trying to tell him, or what is it you're trying to remind Jermichael when it comes in the moment? Yes, no. How do you strike that balance?
That's a loaded question. Well, we don't want the Jermichael at Fort Wayne that shot 6 threes and got one offensive rebound. That we don't want. We want him to still be around the basket, not float on the perimeter, but still be able to stretch the defense. If you don't have 4 guys on the floor that can shoot, it makes it really difficult, and our 5s don't shoot. So sometimes he's at the 5, and if Danilo's at the 5, then we have guys that can shoot. But you've got to expand those games out to the perimeter. The challenge for Jermichael is that he's getting all this publicity, and there are people in his ear telling him, hey, if you could show a perimeter skill, and that being able to handle that success, being able to handle the voices in your life, and not allow that to trip your game up, because what makes Jermichael special is when he is being ferocious. Ask Danilo when he's up here. When Jermichael is locked in and he's being ferocious, he is hard to handle. I think Danilo's probably got some stars to prove it. So that Jermichael is, everybody has a skill set that makes them special when you get to an elite level, and that's Jermichael's special gift, and not the three-point shot, no matter what people might whisper in his ear. So, I don't know, did I answer the question?
No, absolutely, because and he hit one yesterday, Jay, my kid hit a 3 yesterday, early in the first half or so. But it's something that, and I think I've told you this on and off the air, I've enjoyed when he does have a good game from 3, like the 2-for-3. And the defense, they'll, okay, fine, you want to be out there and do that? All right, we'll let you do that. And then he sticks it right in their eye. It's fun to watch him prove them wrong in that respect.
Well, the people who are listening to this now are the people who are invested in our team.
Yes.
So they would probably want to hear this one. So we just finished film session,
Okay.
right? Jermichael took 2 last night, correct?
Got it right here?
Just 2.
Yeah, 1 for 2.
It was 1 for 2. So both of his 3s were on the film today
Okay.
that Danilo just finished watching. Good, bad, and ugly. So the 1 3 that he made was a drive. We moved the ball, we drove it deep into the paint, we reverse pivot, we pitched it out to him. He's at the top of the key, hands and feet, completely naked, open.
Right.
Knocks it in.
Yeah.
Knocks it down. The one that was on the bad part of the video was we had just turned it over. They made a 3 on the other end. We came down, 1 pass to him at the top. He was semi-contested, and we were down 5 at that point, and launched it, missed it, they came down to hit 3 on the other end. Good, bad, you know. So it's kind of a new toy for him. So he's learning how to play with the new toy. And you know, he's a developing shooter, and part of that is knowing ones to take and ones not to take.
And I don't want to make this portion of the first segment all about Michael, but to step back for just a second, it's the recognition, and not just him, every player, every team, everywhere. Recognition, time, score, am I better off passing, should I take the shot? I mean, if you really think about it, it is, and it all has to happen like that, and maybe even faster than that. That's so hard. I don't know if you can coach that. The decision making, the data processing, where is everybody on the floor, times, all that stuff. When you really boil it down, it's a series of quick, instant decisions that more or less are based on instinct, and eventually you just have to let your senses kind of take over.
Yeah, and practice.
Yeah,
practice.
right.
You know, but we are not the best team. Basketball's a rhythm game. You know, it's a game of runs, and we sometimes, as a team, and last night was a perfect example, are unaware when teams are going on a run of their own, and we need to have a good possession. And if there's a place where this team has to grow in order to be a championship team, that is it. And Jamaica's clip was part of a longer segment where they went on a 9-0 whatever run. They made three in a row, but it was our bad offense and our inability to recognize the flow of the game, the rhythm of the game, that allowed to put the gas in their tank. We fueled their run. And if you're going to be a championship team, you've got to know, okay, they just made one, they just made a second one, they're on a run, we need to possess the ball, we need to have good possession. And, you know, part of that is not on them, but a big part of it is on us to make them aware of that. And that's, hopefully we did that in film today.
We'll talk a little more about yesterday and how best to respond and to rebound, and heading out to IU Indy and Cleveland State coming up on the next few days, I should say, not even in a week. Also, Danilo Jovanovich will join us in a couple of minutes as well. Stick with us more on a Monday night.
Hello, everybody.
We continue on this Monday night. Basketball show rolling forward. Danilo Jovanovich. Dilo is here. He will talk about the bumps and bruises of battling into Michael still won't practice every day. And we'll talk to Dilo. We have a lot to talk with Danilo. We'll do that in the next segment. We will just spend a couple of moments here, Coach, obviously, and a disappointing game yesterday, and really the second half. You guys were up 3 at halftime and handling things okay until Fort Wayne kind of seized momentum to start the second half, and then you guys tied it on a couple of occasions, and they were able to get out of here with a 2-point win. I guess just big picture, here's the day after, you've got a chance to process it and talk to the team in a film session and a practice session. What can you share with us in terms of the messaging that you hope they got as we board a bus tomorrow and head out on another tough road now?
Well, before I answer your question,
Yeah.
I would like to thank our fans. It was a great crowd. We actually had some students.
They were there.
The baseball team was awesome. And I think we were right at 3,000 fans. And I told the team today, you know, I've coached 700, 800 of these games. I don't know how many of these games. I've coached a lot of games, right?
We're closing in on 500 too.
Oh, really? Well,
We'll mark that occasion. I'm sorry.
no, it's all right. So losing Fort Wayne, in the big picture, who cares? You know, we all care, but who cares in the big picture? What is disappointing to me is that we get that crowd out there, and we are trying like crazy to get traction. You know, my job, what I was hired to do here was to put this university in a good place, in a good spotlight in the city and nationally, and that helps everything at the university. And we've had a few of these points where it feels like we're about to break through, and we haven't broken through, and that is frustrating for me. And I didn't feel like we performed the way we could have last night. You're going to lose some games. You don't always have opportunities like that to win a game. And but I do want to thank our fans. It won't be our last opportunity, obviously, and probably not for this team. But I told those guys that team 20 years ago, those guys are immortal at this university. They're and I don't know if I told them, I don't know if you were the point guard or the shooting guard. I don't know if you were the 12th man or the leading scorer. I know who the leading scorer is, but for the most part, if you were on that team, you're immortal at this university. And those guys have got to grasp those opportunities, and I didn't think we did. And that is what will drive me crazy. If you're gonna lose a game, you know, I'll never 10 years from now, I won't remember Fort Wayne. I'll try to forget Kaufman. He's not listening to this, as soon as possible. But opportunity, I will remember. I will remember the opportunity. And what was the question?
Well, no, it's good you said that, because you're right. We should, give credit to that crowd in that second half. They got up and they got loud, and primarily on the defensive end when they were trying to urge you guys on to get a stop. I will say that there are, and I think it's safe to say there will be opportunities. We look, and I know you don't look ahead beyond the next game, but if we're talking just in terms about crowds and the home situation, next week, on the 14th and the 16th, when we celebrate the 20th anniversary of that Sweet 16 team, when we celebrate the Hall of Fame class that will be going, like next week, homecoming week, right? I mean, the 14th and the 16th are two big games, so I think the next opportunity to impress and to break through with a lot of butts in the seats, I will predict will come as early as next week. So I don't think you're going to have to wait a long time before you get another chance to break through. That's because the people are showing up.
Yeah, they are.
And they are showing up.
Because I'll be honest, You guys that are here have been there.
Team Bus won.
Team Bus won.
Yeah.
Team Van.
But it's one of those like long fans, though. It's not a mini thing. It's a long.
Yeah. But I do remember that first game here. I walked into the arena, I looked at the crowd, and I went, "Holy moly, what did I do?" You know, and there was nobody here, so
The
we're
first game of
making
your first
progress.
year?
Yes.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, and so we've got a pulse.
Yep. Well,
You know, we're in rehab. We just got to continue to get better, and we got to take advantage of these opportunities because when people see a good product, they come back. But it was an entertaining game. I'll give you that. But the home team can't lose those games at home.
I'm not gonna argue with you that, but for the entertainment value, just the pure entertainment value, it was a great game to watch.
Yeah.
It was a good game to watch. Certainly disappointing for everybody rooting for the Panthers, and most everybody was in that place. Save for probably the two families of the two Wisconsin guys in the Mastodon's uniform. It was an entertaining game, even if the end was disappointing. Just a couple of seconds here, we'll bring in Danilo. But I was curious, just on the vibe today, and I'm sure it was a spirited film session, and then you guys took to the court for practice. Just what can you share, what can you reveal about how that all went today, knowing turn the page and get ready for Indy and load a bus up tomorrow?
Well, after the Robert Morris loss, I lived them up pretty good, and I think they deserved it. So there's only so many words that I have in a season that are going to resonate with these guys.
You can't be peeling paint every other day.
Yeah.
Otherwise you get to February and it falls on deaf ears.
So it was more today, and I didn't really go in with anything. I actually went in telling the staff that I'm going to try not to say a whole lot and let the film do the teaching. But I ended up, Danilo he can talk more about the team, but going individually with, hey, here's what we need from you, here's what we need from you, here's what we need from you. Because sometimes, if you go with the buckshot, they hear part of it and they think the bad stuff applies to you and the good stuff applies to me, So good and bad, what we needed from them, mostly not bad, but sometimes they need to point blank here. This is what the team needs from you, and we had a little bit of that. And Jose had the person who has the scout has the post game film as well.
Right.
And we call it 4 good, 4 bad plus 1. Today was a little longer than that, especially on the bad part. But Jose did a great job, and he's very good at it.
I was just going to interject. Can you explain for folks who are watching and listening, what do you mean by 4 good, 4 bad plus 1? 4 good clips, right?
Clips, yes,
Okay,
clips. And we have a post-game wrap-up where they get all the stats
Sure.
and grade out everything from their contests, which is called a Draymond. We've talked about this, and their rebounding, and they get a grade on whether they were in a stance defensively, whether they ran the floor, along with their regular stats. So, we wrap it up, but the film is the most important part.
So there's Draymonds, there's Barclays. Are there other things named after players? I'm trying to think.
We don't have a D-Lo yet, but
Danilo.
yeah, left-handed, the number of left-handed fadeaways you make is the D-Lo.
Moving forward.
How many D-Los?
It will be static. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, hometown boy made good, Danilo Jovanovich, Miami, Louisville, back home in Milwaukee. We'll talk about the game more. on campus. It was great.
Hey,
3,000 seat arena.
I just.
Welcome back.
All right.
People, they love their Danilo Jovanovich is here, everybody.
All right.
Oh, yeah, the cries of Danilo. Thanks for doing this. Appreciate it. Anytime. Really, anytime? Because we'll be here every Monday the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Don't say anytime if you don't mean anytime.
Maybe this one time.
Okay, maybe this one time. Glad you're here. How you feeling, first of all? Where are you in the grand conditioning scheme after missing so much time early with the elbow, and then you were concussed for a game? How healthy are you 1 to 100 right now? Knowing it's February and there are bumps and bruises, I get it.
For the most part, I feel good.
Good.
Elbow's good. Concussion was kind of quick. It was a scary fall, but it wasn't that bad. Kind
How
of
did you not lose a tooth on that? I could have sworn we were gonna make, the bus was gonna, divert to a local dentist, which we've done before, to a local dentist office before heading home.
So when I messed on my arm the first time, they were like, whatever you do, just don't catch yourself with your arm. So I was in midair and I was like, all right, take a header, a couple days, or just land on my arm. I was like, I'll take the header.
It wasn't a header as people think a header. It was more of a face plant. That's what it was.
I'm all right.
You are. So you're doing okay. Well, good. How has this year been for you to come back? I know you had decisions to make, and we'll get to your journey to get here. But how has this year gone for you personally, and being back among a lot of familiar faces? I know family stuff.
It's been great, actually. Kind of a little reset. I've been gone for a while, and then just being able to come to a coaching staff that really cares about you genuinely. I've known Jose for a long time, and then just getting to know Coach Lundy, Walk, Jake, and everybody. All these guys who are here right now, it's been great. And then just, of course, being close to my family. I get sick of them sometimes. And they're loud, but I love them. They're great. So it's just nice being home.
Coach, from your perspective, can you kind of walk us through the journey to bring D'Lo back home after stops at Miami and last year move him?
He probably doesn't know all this, but so
Listen to this.
So Jose keeps track of his guys, and he's coached, and we talked about D'Lo a lot in the office. And we didn't when he first went in, we didn't really do anything with it because we kind of took the approach that he's got to come around to staying at home. And we let his process play out. We didn't do anything with recruiting him really. Jose just stayed in touch. And then when we got the vibe from Jose Vinco, we talked to, he's good friends with, and we got the vibe that he might want to stay home. We got him over to the gym, and really it's fast from that point on. It was like a one-day deal. Other than Elijah trying to fight him to pick up, it was pretty smooth. That might have been Elijah's last day here.
There's one man standing from that guy. Oh, damn. To have you here, do you get a lot of family and friends that comes to games regularly? I haven't really asked you that question. Like, is there a little fan club up there?
Not necessarily a fan club, kind of just my parents, grandmas, both my grandmas.
Okay.
And then my dad will come see, that little bar right there.
Your dad's at the bar?
Yeah,
Dad's at the bar.
he's at the bar, and make sure he's in my line of sight all game. So, but they're all there, and it's great just having support from everybody. My little nephews will come to games sometimes, so it's just really nice to be back.
What is it about, I'm going to ask Coach this same question, but I'll ask it of you first. What is it about your game that you think benefits this program the most for where you are and where this program is right now?
Compared to everybody else on the team, I'm very unconventional.
Good word.
Everybody else kind of just a lot quicker than I am, or just kind of fast paced, and I kind of just like to slow myself down a little bit and just be able to play at how I want to play. And I'm not trying to be selfish when I play either. If I can pass up something and get somebody else an open three, I do that. And just kind of just play my own way. Not let people speed me up, and just kind of stay calm.
So from a program coaching perspective, how does this guy complement what you want to do big picture? And little picture.
I mean, to me, he's only scratching the surface, and we're only scratching the surface where he's going to go. And it's been a frustrating season for him, just the in and out, where he would be if none of the things you've already talked about had happened. It's hard to tell where he would be, because I think that eventually he's first team player, and that group of guys that he's playing with down low, really they've all had, Aaron and Faison and really Jermichael a little bit, but Duffy, they've all had their ins and outs, and we haven't gotten the chemistry with those guys that we could have. But we've got a month here where he just started to get healthy and really starting to play well. But what he does individually is he does slow us down. We've got to give him the ball more. That was part of the film session. Him, Faison, we've got to throw it in there way more than we're throwing it in there. And part of that, our guards got to be skilled enough to be able to get it in, but also conscious that those guys are really good players and they need to touch the ball. So Danilo can pass it, he can shoot it. He hasn't even started shooting threes really for us yet, and he can really shoot three. There's so many things to his game that he's our most skilled, maybe our most skilled player, not just inside player, all of our players. So he thinks the game's starting to really slow down for him, I think. He's played at a high level, which I think maybe didn't give him the results he wanted, but it gave him the experience that he might have needed. And now he's got a home, he's got people around him that are cheering on his success, not only in the program, but with his family, and I think the sky's the limit.
Can you share, we're spending some time here with Danilo Jovanovich, can you share the little, I guess, anecdote really that you told me when we talked post-game at Wright State, and I asked you about that step back fadeaway, and you kind of talked about how you developed it and why you chose to develop that, why it was important that you find something that you could refine to set you apart from everybody else when you started off, I guess at Miami probably.
Yeah, like Coach Lundy said earlier, everybody kind of has their own knack, and like in basketball, I was really just bigger than everybody. I could kind of do what I wanted to do. So I really had that, but it wasn't kind of like how I have it now. And when I got to Miami, everybody was so athletic, and like first day of practice, I tried laying it up, and it's all the way like fifth row bleachers. So I'm like, all right, I gotta try to find something different. So just playing with a bunch of athletes and guys who were just a lot stronger than me, I had to kind of find a way to get my shot off in creative ways. So that's how I kind of got the fadeaway, and then everything's kind of developed off of that.
Let's go back, because for folks who don't know, we're watching on YouTube or listening on the Varsity Network at mkpanthers.com. From Whitnall High School, runner-up Mr. Basketball in 2022. With the success you had before you entered college, how much pressure did you feel? How much pressure did you feel as it built, as the accolades started rolling in, as the school started calling and offering, scholarships and whatnot? What was that process like for you? Maybe how are you better for going through all that now as you're older?
High school it was pressure, but it was kind of just like, all right, I kind of know what I want to do, where I want to go. It was very easy. I didn't want to take a lot of visits.
What part was easy?
The recruiting part.
Okay.
The recruiting part was pretty easy for me. There wasn't a lot of pressure, kind of just playing. I was playing with mostly my friends. And then when you get to college, it's more of a business. It's more everything, and you got to develop a tougher chin, kind of. You got to be able to take blows and be able to run with it. And then just, you just got to be able to adjust. So, I mean, it's been a good process, and pressure hasn't really been a lot, but it's just good to be where I'm at today.
Let's take a quick break. When I come back, I want to ask you a little bit about the Miami final. You can be okay? This one we need a break. We'll take a break. We'll let you compose yourself. I want to ask you about the Final Four Miami experience and how you think that can help this program. And we'll try to get people to compose himself. Stick with us. We'll play 5 questions with Danilo Jovanovich. Stick with us.
All right.
Hey, basketball show, and we're pleased to be joined by Danilo Jovanovich, the junior forward out of Whitnell High School. We talked, I think, Coach and I, we talked a little bit about this last week. Well, had we last week? Before that, we had the holiday break about going through the Final Four experience that you did in your rookie year, your freshman year at Miami. How do you describe that whole ride when people ask you about it?
It was just a great experience altogether. I mean, though, that's like you said earlier with all the guys who went to the Sweet 16 here. It's like you're kind of immortal when you go back. And like those guys is still my brothers. Like I love all those guys to death. And we just had a great experience. Even like all the rough times we had during the season, like all the little skirmishes, fights, whatever we got going on, disagreements, it all just paid off, and it was just a great experience.
For folks who have never been in a venue as a fan, let alone as a player, playing these basketball games in football stadiums, I mean, yeah, you kind of give a cringy look on your face for people listening. How do you describe that? Do you like that atmosphere?
It's a great atmosphere. It's just weird shooting the ball.
Okay.
Because just everything's so far behind. I mean, like you see, like it's for 110,000 people. Like when we played in Houston, so it's different than our arena in Miami held like 8, and it was barely full. So it's just kind of like, okay, you're with 110 rather than like 5,000.
But the atmosphere was good.
It was good. It was loud.
Really?
It was a great atmosphere. I mean, we got dog walked by UConn, but it was just great to be there.
A lot of teams have been dog walked by UConn in recent memory. So the biggest question and the most important question is, what about that experience? And probably not even, well, you tell me, maybe not even the stuff on the court, but all the intangible stuff. Like, what about you going through that can help this team, this program, and this year, in the next month plus?
I kind of know what to expect with like the tournament aspect.
Sure.
Like you play say you play Friday, Sunday, so you got, or however the tournament works, you play and then you got a quick prep day. It's kind of like how we got it coming up. So it's just quick turnarounds. You can't dwell on the last game, whether you had 20 or you had 2 points. You kind of just have to flip your mindset to be able to prepare for the next game. And that's one thing we did really well down there, and it was just very unselfish. Everybody was kind of not looking for their own stuff. I mean, we had the ACC Player of the Year, and he was kind of just playing how he could play to win. And it wasn't just, all right, I want 25 tonight. It was, all right, let's see what I could do to get somebody else a shot and get everybody rolling.
Coach, as you look now February and we'll hard to believe conference tournament will be here like a month from tomorrow or so. How much will you lean on guys who've been through those postseason battles, the Danilos, Themis, we talk AJ as well. How much will you lean on them? How much will you tap into some of their player experience going through that stuff?
Well, a ton. We're going through the regular season now, and the regular season really is a test of who is the most consistent team. Last year Oakland was the best team and the most consistent team. They were both, but that is not always the case. I still believe that we are the best team. We just haven't proven that we're the most consistent team right now. But when we get to that tournament time, Danilo, Themis, AJ, guys who have played, because it's a long season, even to get to the conference tournament, and you're rolling to Indy. Like for some guys, that is, they've played way beyond what they've ever done. And for these guys to be able behind the scenes, outside the coaching staff, to be able to say, hey, take care of your body. Hey, it's okay. We got really, today's an important practice. We got to get this one right. Those guys have had those experiences, and they know what lies on the other side. So you can't do it just as a coaching staff. You've got to have players that are voices to each other.
Was there a moment, when you just go back to a couple of years ago, but was there a moment when you realized, or when you guys collectively realized this is clicking, or it just clicked, or this team can do something special? I mean, it was a good season, but still to make that run was impressive for a number of other reasons. Was there any moment, a flashpoint, as you recall?
Regular season, we were playing Florida State at home. We were up 28 going into halftime, and we ended up losing that game on a buzzer beater. So after that, we kind of had like a little, kind of a team meeting where we're just like, yo, this is what we got to do if we want to go where we want to go. So after that point, we kind of just got hot. We got really hot, actually. Like Drake gave us a scare in the first round. It was a tough game. That's a tough team. And then after that, beat Indiana, rolled through Houston, and then Texas was a great game. So, and then got stopped by UConn, but I mean, yeah, it just kind of clicked, and we just knew, like, all right, everybody just got to stay focused for a little bit longer, and we're all good.
Are there necessary flashpoints? I mean, you've been to the NCAA tournament on multiple occasions and made runs deep into the NCAA tournament during your time, obviously at Queens. If I ask you to just think back on some of those seasons, are there flashpoints, or is that overplayed when they think, oh, here was the moment where it all changed? Is that always the case?
Yes and no. There's always those moments.
Yeah.
There's always those moments that a team starts to really believe in what they can be. But like everything in sports, it's the unseen moments that lead to the moment. And if you have the right stuff in all those unseen moments, all that work, all that grind, then you get the moment. But I do think, just like their Florida State game, whether it's a loss or a win, there's always a time where everything seems to, you're going through the fire, and the fire will break you apart, or the fire will bring you together. And like his team brought it together, and you hope you just keep plugging away. As many words as they hate those film sessions, good and bad. Sometimes they hate them, but you get a little bit better each time, and then You get that breakthrough moment. And to me, that's what excellence is about.
What was that film? We talked with Coach about the film session today and kind of resetting after yesterday and being better for it moving forward. I mean, through the players' eyes, how would you describe today's film, today's practice, and being better now tomorrow moving forward?
It was very constructive. It wasn't like just kind of going at people or going at our team. It was just, here's what we got to do better. Here's what we didn't do well. It's usually 4 bad, 4 good. It was like 50 bad, 4 good. But yeah, no, just looking at what we got to improve on. I mean, we know what we didn't do well. We know, like, if you're on the film and it's a bad thing, it's just what you got to do better. So, I mean, there's points where sometimes film gets grueling and it's long film sessions, but it's great. That's what we need to learn. And yeah, that helps us a lot, and it's going to help us a lot this week.
Do you dread the moments when it's, oh boy, here comes my turn on the film session? Like, you know it's coming.
Yeah.
You know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time before he comes to me, before they get to me.
Yeah, or you could, like, I can tell, like, when the play's about to happen, I'll be like, all right, yeah, I got scored on. All right, yeah, let's see how coach wants to break it down. So, yeah, I don't want to see myself on film.
No.
I want to see myself do good on film, not being the 4 bad.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. All right, this has been fun. Before we let you go, D'Lo, we're going to play 5 questions, okay? Here we go. First answer that comes to mind, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Number 1, the insect that creeps you out the most. The insect that creeps you out the most is?
None of them, really. I'm
None
not
of them?
really, like, no.
None of them? If I put a centipede on the center of this table,
Kill it.
No, then leave that one.
a spider, no, nothing? No insects? What are you, mice must be your thing, right?
Is that an insect?
No, but I'm, no, it's not, I'm just trying, all right, never mind. No insects. Nobody's ever said no insects. Would you rather prefer a 5-hour bus ride or a 2-hour plane ride?
2-hour plane ride.
Oh, have you seen the itinerary yet? No, they just boo it? It's just boo. Like, why is just boo? It's like, why is just boo the show? You can't boo the show. What was the name of your first pet?
I've never had any.
No pets?
I'm allergic to cats and dogs.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad.
Okay, like an iguana maybe. No,
No
that
gold.
creeps you out.
No
An
gold.
iguana creeps you out.
I went to Miami. There was iguanas, like, on campus.
That's true.
It was fine.
You just grabbed one and taken one home. All right, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to get you an answer to the question yet. Number 4, the one food item you most look forward to at a breakfast buffet. The one food item you most look forward to at a breakfast buffet.
Waffles. The Belgian waffles.
Belgian waffles. Good answer, good answer, good answer.
Hated high school opponent.
Good answer.
Do you want to elaborate on why that would be good for you?
Did you? Okay, I wasn't going to. I wasn't going to do it. How about those sugar pearl waffles in Cincinnati? Did you try them? Were they not maybe the greatest thing you've ever eaten in your life?
No. There were some good waffles, but
They
it
were
wasn't like,
great
it
waffles.
wasn't like, oh my gosh, I need them every day.
Well,
Scott, how many did you take with you?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Taking waffles with you back home. That's ridiculous. Number 5. How many? You didn't eat them, did you?
What?
The sugar pearl waffles.
Yeah,
There's sugar pearls in the
I know
waffle.
what they are.
Number 5, the best logo in all of sports, the best logo in all the land of sports is?
The Packers, go Packers. It's boring.
Right.
You're just playing to the ground. And the bonus, would you like better, the Packers logo or the Georgia Bulldogs logo?
Georgia stole it from the Packers, so therefore the Packers.
The bonus question, one player, past or present, you get to play one-on-one against and then spend time just talking basketball with him. Who is it? Past or present, you play and then you spend some time talking.
So my favorite player since I was like 3 years old has been Dwayne Wade, so probably be D-Wade or KD. One of the two.
Okay, very good.
I have an extra question.
Please, go ahead.
Best Serbian dish.
I'm not a big fan of Serbian food. I like, it's called cheddar. It's kind of like just, I don't even know how to describe it.
What is it called?
What's that place? Three Brothers?
Three Brothers, yeah. My mom's good friends with the owners.
Yeah.
So,
What is cheddar?
yeah, it's kind of just like meat and then just like, you can make it into like a burger.
Okay.
It's kind of like, it's called nuts with some bread. And put that together. But there's some stuff I like, but some of it's just like, I don't get why people eat it, so.
Don't you like it?
No, some of it I don't,
Oh, you
some
don't?
of it's good.
So if I went to Three Brothers, what do I order?
Chops. That's just for me. Everybody else likes their own stuff, but me, I'm kind of simple, plain.
Unconventional.
No, I'm very conventional.
No, that was the term you used to describe your game, unconventional.
That's different than food.
Oh, conventionally speaking food, unconventionally basketball. Danilo Jovanovich, everybody. Big round of applause.
Take your brand to the next level in H 360.
Even though I'm not like,
Final segment on this Monday night. Bart. All right, Coach, we just have a couple of minutes left here before we wrap this thing up, and then the trip begins. IU Indy on Wednesday night. I was looking at their schedule, Coach. On Wednesday night, I had a chuckle because it's favorite professor night at IU Indy. Did you have a favorite professor, favorite teacher, favorite coach, probably?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. Am I in trivia now or?
No, I don't know. I saw favorite professor night at IU Indy, and I laughed thinking like, you're gonna have professors show up for the game and they're gonna go, we don't have your name on the list.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're not a favorite.
Yeah. If you did that, I'm surprised that they do that now. It used to be a big thing.
Yeah.
Now everybody's virtual, so.
That's true. They'll just, they'll scream in on a
The
jumbotron.
professor you like and art the most.
IU Indy, 88-81, I think was the final score the first time around, back around the holidays.
Yeah.
It's at the Jungle, it's their on-campus, small little gym, practiced there last year as I recall, but they played tough, and what a 48-hour turnaround for them. They get their tails kicked by 50 at Robert Morris, and 48 hours later they're going to Youngstown Stadium winning a game, so they're feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought that they were better than their record indicates, and they're a really scary team. They play just like Fort Wayne, pretty much. Did you lose me
I
there?
got you.
Probably the best prep for this upcoming game was the film session from last night. And we transitioned after that film to IU Indy, obviously, but we gave up 13 threes. You give up 13 threes at IU Indy, you're gonna lose that one too. So we've got to shore up some defensive things, and we gave up 81 here, and that's a team that can come here and score 81. That's a pretty good team. And it was 70-70 tie ball game, and we made some defensive plays. But we're learning and ready for the challenge. We were disappointed about last night, and it hurts us in some ways. If the goal is to win the regular season, so now Fort Wayne has the tiebreak on us, and we've lost 2 home games. So we get an opportunity this week to with 4-2 on the road to maybe win 5-6 on the road. So if you do that, then all your sins are forgiven, and you're still in the hunt for a regular season championship. But last night was painful. I think part of today was getting the team spirit right and back. You can't dwell on it. We played great in Ohio, but then we had 9 days between games, and we really lost some steam there. Not to make excuses, but the best thing about last night being over is we only have 2 days and we play again, and we have 2 days and we play again. And this team has shown when we get in those kind of rhythms, we play better and better. We don't need those breaks.
No, that was, no help from the schedule makers on that. So Wednesday night, Panthers and IU-Indy. It is a 5:30 Central start. We'll have a broadcast for you as always on the Varsity Network app and streaming and 101.7 FM The Truth. 5:30. And then on Saturday, it's a 2 o'clock Central start. And that could be a rather consequential game in terms of the standings, and see if we'll see if Cleveland State is still riding a winning streak by the time the Panthers get to the bowl steam. And then next Monday, we'll be back here for another edition of the Bart Lundy Basketball Show. Coach, appreciate it. Best of skill this week. Don't let the bus leave without me tomorrow.
No, I have a what do you call it, sugar pearl waffle waiting for you.
I'll be there.
I'm gonna start calling you Sugar Pearl Scott.
I gotta think about that.
Girl Scott! That's sticking. Trademark.
No, I'm afraid we've been off the air for the last 5 minutes, so none of that. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next Monday.